We've seen the personal subject pronouns in Romance. Those pronouns point out who's performing an action, as in ego canto, which can be said canto without the pronoun. Vulgar Latin and Romance languages also use pronouns for a person impacted by the action, much like English me in sees me. These are object pronouns. With verbs, these typically sit immediately to the left of the verb in Romance. Vides, you see, me vides, you see me. When an action impacts somebody directly, a Latin accusative pronoun like me or te is placed before the verb. Me videt. Te videt. The first and second person plural objects are nos and vos. Third person objects come from the accusatives of ille and illa. Illu vides. Illa vides. Illos vides. Plural them derives from the nominative illi and ille in Eastern Romance. Italian li vedo, le vedo. Verbs that impact their object indirectly, like to me in says to me, have an indirect object pronoun to the left. In modern Romance, these are mostly identical to the direct object pronouns. Me dice, il me dit, mi dice, and so on. The difference does become apparent in the third person, where dative forms are used instead. Dative case illi, to him or to her. Illi dico. Or dative illis, to them, illis dico. Vulgar Latin actually used the dative forms in other persons for indirect objects, a difference that still survives in Romanian. Me videt, mă vede, with a direct object. Mi dicet, îmi zice, with an indirect object. When a verb can take both direct and indirect object pronouns, they both still fall to the left of the verb. Dicet says, mi dicet says to me, illu dicet says it, mi lu dicet says it to me. Or dat gives, didat gives you, illos dat gives them, tillos dat gives them to you. These object pronouns often trail non-finite forms, particularly infinitives. Diceretillu, to say it to you. Spanish, decírtelo. Italian, dirtelo. But notice that French and Romanian keep them on the left. When a verb has the same subject and object, it's called reflexive. Reflexive objects in English have an ending self, like I see myself. Romance languages use the same pronouns you've learned as reflexives. Me vidio. Te vides. This is considered reflexive. The exception is again in the third person, where se means herself, himself, itself, or themselves. Ille se videt. Se vident. So much for object pronouns with verbs. Prepositions, small particles that relate time or space like under or to or beside, are followed by a different set of pronouns. These are stressed and mostly resemble the subject pronouns. Ad nos, to us, ad illa, to her. But me and you are different. A mí, a mí, a me, a moi, la mine. Or a ti, a ti, a te, a toi, la tine. Romance personal pronouns can be objects of verbs and of prepositions. Now you have a taste of how they do that.